Disregarded grandma's sacrifices for the family before she passed. Now he faces a much worse fate than grandma. My grandma was not well. Suffering from chronic diabetes, obesity, and ever-fluctuating blood pressure, she was bedridden. Bedridden for months together, yet still possessed a sharp mind. What Uncle Quam did changed her forever. She had 4 kids and was under the care of her second son, Tim. My mom would visit her every day to look into her needs when the son and his wife were off to work. Grandma was married off at the age of 7 or perhaps 8 years old, though was sent to her husband's place after attaining puberty. Her husband was a drunkard, wife-attacking and womanizer. He was a man who was ever ready to sell the small inheritance for his drinking habits. She fought all his evil intentions with all her vigor. Through resilience and steadfastness, she not only saved the inheritance but through hard work and insurmountable sacrifices, managed to add more property to the inheritance in the form of farmland. One day Grandpa passed away. The kids had moved out long ago. By then, even she had grown old. Years of being a farmer and working under the sun, managing cattle, and fighting drought had taken a toll on her. Hence, she decided to move into one of her son's places. She had constantly worked for more than 50 years and now was suffering from her old age. All her life she battered herself down to provide the best life for her kids. She moved into her last son's home who was staying in the village. Initially, she had a great time. A comfort which she never had tasted in her entire life. There was a daughter-in-law to cook and a son to take care of the cattle. And she would while off her time playing with the son's kids. One day, her diabetes worsened. Kidney failure was just a step away. To get better medical treatment, it was decided she move into the city. 3 of her kids were living in the city. My mom wanted to have her, but she refused to go, citing cultural and traditional beliefs of a mother not to live for too long in her daughter's place after she has been married off. One among the many outdated beliefs of hers. Her first son, Quam, refused to have her with him, stating his house will get dirty and smelly. Since she is coming from the village and with the disease, it will affect her hygiene at home. My wife, son, and daughter-in-law won't approve of it. It will affect mostly my daughter-in-law, whose hygiene standards are so high that she finishes an entire bottle of hand sanitizer in a single day. And I don't want to put my family under stress. All of the siblings were disappointed. But they moved on. Tim took her under his care. Thankfully, the rest of them realized that it was not the time to squabble, but to focus on grandma's well-being. Soon enough, thanks to wonderful medical treatment, she recouped well. But she was never the same. She perhaps realized she didn't have much time left. She asked all the kids to share the inheritance before she passed away. During one of the meetings over sharing the inheritance, her 3 sons started heckling each other, each having enormous property and wealth. Thirst for more never ends perhaps. Seeing the ruckus, my grandma got severely distressed. Time looked to his eldest brother. I have taken care of her. What have you done for her to claim a major chunk of the inheritance? I don't care what you did for her. I am the first son. Give me what I ask for. And I don't care what happens to her. Even if you decide to toss her to the dogs or into the trash, I don't give a damn. Those strong words from Quam broke grandma. She silently went to bed. Her 60-odd years of sacrifice, sweat, and blood had finally brought her to this juncture in life. For days and months to come, she would sulk. At times silently, and other times voicing her pain. Not a single day went by without shedding tears. Quam never visited her again. She kept thinking about him, eagerly waiting for him, looking at the door, and relentlessly talking about him to her other kids day in and day out. She requested everybody who visited her to call and ask him to visit her. One night grandma passed away in her sleep. He finally came only to give his last respect. It was way too late by then. On her funeral day, as I watched, it seemed just like another random event for him that unravels in a day. There were no emotions on his face or in his eyes whatsoever. She was buried behind the house in which she spent 54 years of her life. Quam had a terrible fall the same day of the funeral. Call it what you want, but I know karma when I see it. Quam is paralyzed in the lower part of the body. He cannot move. He is stationed in one place. Stool and urine collection is done from the place he will be. Not a single day goes by without getting abused or getting ill-treated by his wife and son. His once fragrance-filled house with the greatest of aesthetics now smells like garbage and smelly grandmas.